Hey guys, welcome back to another great webinar. We're talking about AI for email marketing, AI for email workshop right now. Super excited to be here. Super excited to share this content with you guys. For those that don't know, I'm Isaac Hyman. I am the founder of HiFlyer Digital. We are an email, SMS, and CRM agency for e-commerce brands. And one topic on everyone's mind right now is all about AI. And I've been working in AI for years, way before ChatGPT came out. And I'm excited to share some of the hacks that the top 1% are using with AI and how they're generating enormous amounts of clicks, conversions, and customers using AI. So I'm excited to dive into this a little bit more in depth with you. I love the concept of using AI for emails, but there's so much out there. There's a ton out there that can get very overwhelming. It could be just complicated, and there's always someone's got something new, or this new app, new vendor that comes out. I'm here to help demystify that and making sure that you can, utilize the best AI for your business and take your business to the next level using AI, saving time, saving energy, and personalizing and connecting with customers on a better way, right? It's all about building a better customer relationship. So let's jump into this right now. I'm just gonna toggle this out. Let me just move myself here so you can see the screen a little bit better. And let's jump right in. So on the next 45 minutes or so on this webinar, our goal is to show you how the top 1% use AI and machine learning to increase clicks and conversions while reducing their manual workload drastically. That's really what it comes down to. You want to increase revenue, increase engagement, but also not spend your entire day working on one campaign, working on creatives and working on AI and just become a major time sink. So I want to really focus on increasing revenue, clicks, and conversions while also reducing your workload drastically. That's our goal. If you're on this webinar, you must be pretty serious about growing your business. You must be pretty serious about building a better customer relationship, right? 84% of brands don't think about the power of the customers on their list. They don't think about that there's a relationship there for them to build. They see them as an email. You're probably a different mindset, and you know that there's an opportunity here. So that must be you. You must be a brand that wants to learn the top secrets of the 1%. You maybe are an e-commerce shop that wants to break free of that hamster wheel of constant and mindless acquisition and focus on retention as well. You may be an action taker who just doesn't just read and consume content, but actually wants to take action right away and make things happen instead of just reading about it or hearing about it. And you could be either a DTC brand or a retailer or a startup and just realizes that there's a lot of untapped potential on your existing list. So you made the right choice. You're on the right webinar to be on right now. And you're going to learn a lot about how to think about AI and how to shift your mindset too. All because I came from that world. I know exactly what the top brands are doing. I'm going to bring them to you. By the end of this webinar, right, I usually make about 2 or 3 promises that you can expect to see at the end of this webinar, right? And the top 3 goals I would like you to come out of this with are, I want you to reimagine what AI means to your email marketing and to your business, right? You really want to reimagine the mindset of how you're approaching email and then using the right AI to implement that strategy, right? I want you also to unlock the best AI, not the most for your business. Like I said before, there's a ton of options out there. It was like NFTs or Bitcoin. A couple of years ago, everyone got jumped on the bandwagon for these, and everyone had an option. Everyone had a fund. Everyone had some new and unique app or tool or strategy. Same with AI. AI now, there's hundreds of thousands of apps that just sprout out of nowhere. It can get overwhelming. So I want you to unlock the best AI, not the most. And then I want you also to know how to build an AI campaign from scratch that will 2x your revenue. And again, all these are critical because you need to have a little bit of a mindset shift when you're doing this, but it's going to be a good one, guaranteed. You can see some stats at the bottom there, and I'm going to go through those stats a little bit more in depth in a second. And if you stay to the end, what I always do is I promise you, I'm going to give you my AI, not my AI playbook, my ultimate e-commerce email and SMS playbook right here. I have it down here. 1 second, let me grab it. Oh, there we go. Right here, ultimate e-commerce email and SMS playbook right there. A 330-page book for you to check out all the strategies you need to build better customer relationships and unlock the revenue potential from every customer on your list. You can email me at isaac@hiflyerdigital.com. More than happy to give you a hard copy as well. But if you're serious about growing your business and growing revenue, turn off your cell phones, turn off your social media for a little bit, and just let's dive into the learning so you can really have some good takeaways now, right? Otherwise, your feed will be blown up with the latest app, the latest AI tool, and how to use AI to do this. And then let's focus on the mindset, the strategy, and then all the rest will start sinking in. So a little bit about me and my company, HiFlyer Digital, my agency. I was the director. I was in the VP of email, SMS, and CRM at the top brands. I wrote the book, as I mentioned before. I've sent over 1 billion emails annually. Even now, to date, that's exactly where I'm at. I've directly attributed about 300 million in revenue from those emails, from those text messages. I've done push. I've done browser push, mobile push, app push, all these little things that you may not know about in terms of retention. I've done all those loyalty rewards programs, everything that goes beyond just email and SMS. I've managed the multi-million-dollar email list that you may hear about and you see in your inbox, right? The top brands out there. I was the award winner for the best email performance at Blue Course Summit. I was lucky enough to beat out some of the top players like Sephora, Jockey, Nike was in there, and I won the top email performance. And part of that was actually helped by AI. Again, back in 2016, 2017. It's light years away if you think about it. Guest speaker at eTail, Post Funnel, and other events out there. I've spoken on the power of retention and the power of building better customer relationships and how to scale it with AI as well. I've worked with hundreds of brands and e-commerce stores, and really my main takeaway here is I've been on your side of the table. I've spoken about the power of the person behind the email, the power of the person behind your text message, and that's really what I want you to come away from this webinar and say, there's a lot of potential on my list. I just need to connect with that person behind the email, behind the text message on a one-to-one level. That's where the magic happens. So I've been on your side of the table. I've even hired agencies like myself to help my business grow to the next level. Some good, some bad. But either way, I've been on that side that you're at right now. Let's talk a little bit about what prompted me to jump into the AI world. Right? I think that's a really important thing to remember. I also faced struggles. I was swamped with work, just like your brands were. The brands I worked with wanted to sell more products. They wanted to personalize more experiences, right? But our campaigns were beautiful and generic. They were the type of campaigns that you look at it and you saw this amazingly designed email, top to bottom, super, super great design, right? A lot of effort put into it. But we were only as good as our last send, right? Because if an email was well designed, the next campaign that came down the road, like maybe tomorrow or a couple days, had to be equally designed really well. It's just not scalable to have a email strategy that way. You can have these amazing designs, right? Amazing look, but if it's not personalized, it's just going to fall flat. And that's where I was at. I was literally sending, in some cases, 7 to 10 emails a week, right? If you include the automations coming in. And it drove revenue, but it tanked our list, right? People were unsubscribing. People weren't really engaging with them after a while. And as you know, some of the top brands send emails once a day, right? Or maybe twice a day in some cases. They know there's opportunity there. But it tanks your list unless you're doing one thing, which is focusing on personalization at scale. So the epiphany I had was you refocus on the potential of AI to save time and personalize on a one-to-one level. Before, we were like George Costanza right there, right? Hello, Mr. Finneman, you want to buy a computer? And you send out an email and it was batching like, buy, right? Instead of saying, what are you looking to buy? How can we personalize the email to you using AI, right? And that mindset shift was huge, right? That's the key to scalability. Using AI, machine learning, and a mindset shift, we were able to grow our email channel from $45 million in revenue a year to 75 million in just 8 months using AI, okay? Well, I'll define exactly what part of AI we used here. It really comes down to machine learning. But really, that was the shift. That was us saying, you know what? There's a way to scale better and personalize our emails much better using machine learning, artificial intelligence, and all those tools at scale. So I don't have to slave away at every single email, making sure it's perfect, getting it out the door on time, and making sure that every single email is literally gorgeous, okay? There's a better way. And since then, I've worked with 7-figure to 10-figure brands on that exact mindset the mindset shift, and the implementation of the strategy, which I'm going to walk you through today. So really just be aware. Like I said, I've been on your side of the table. I know the challenges you're facing. I was swamped just like you, and I was looking to use AI to generate more revenue in half the time, in half of my time, and just help my brand get to the next level. A little bit about us. We exist to help brands, build better customer relationships. That's our main goal, right? That's the power of why. That's our main existence. We want to help you build a better relationship with your customers, right? And overall, we also want to help the underdog. We know brands like yours may not be at the level of the top 1%, right? You may be looking to get there one day. You may just be looking to get from 1 million to 2 million, or from 10 to 15, or from 100 million to 120, right? And there's a way to get there. So I know how to get there because it's all about building a better customer relationship. We do that by segmenting, personalizing, and connecting with customers on a one-to-one level, right? There's a person behind your email, person behind the text. We want to connect with that person. And how do we do that? We do that by leveraging the most intimate channel out there, which is email and SMS. It's that one identifying channel that allows your brand to connect with a person at scale, hundreds of thousands, millions of emails at a time. Like I said, our mission is to help the small yet scaling brand, people who are serious about getting to the next level, take that jump and get the strategy of the top 1% that I know. I'm going to bring them to you, and you're going to use those strategies to get to the next level. Okay. And actually, thank God, I have a good network of people beyond just email and SMS who do paid media, CRO, website development. All of them came from the top 1% too. We bring those strategies to brands like yours. And the outcome of that is clients unlock the true revenue potential from every customer on the list. And when that happens, it's mind-blowing. It's like, I had no clue I had that much potential on my list, right? That's usually what the response we get. So really great to see that. And it's great for the brand and great for the customer. Let's jump in now. What exactly is AI for email marketing, and why should we care, right? Big question, right? Why is it important to our brand right now? So let's first start by diving into what exactly is AI for email. Okay, what is it? You hear about it and you say, oh, there's artificial intelligence. And we all gravitate towards ChatGPT, right? We all think it's used for copywriting or used to generate ideas or a campaign brief, things like that. According to Harvard Business Review, here are the 4 types of AI for e-commerce brands that you should be aware of, because again, there's the highest possible level. There's the type of AI that the top brands are using right now, that they're creating apps, but then there's also AI that's more approachable for every single brand out there. So number 1, there's AI that's focused on standalone machine learning apps. Well, standalone automation tasks, we'll do that first. These are the ones that are like, you have your chatbots, and you have your Facebook Messenger and automations to answer when someone sends a message on Facebook. That's a great use of AI for automating your tasks, right? Little small tasks that you have out there. Good. It's also great for CRM integrations that a lot of brands are using right now. It's the less advanced, but it's still valuable, right? It's more valuable than you doing it yourself. Then there are the standalone machine learning apps, which are like, if you ever I bought glasses on Warby Parker. And Warby Parker has this really cool 3D app where you can vision the glasses on your face. That's super advanced, right? Not everyone can build an app like that. It takes a lot of learning and a lot of investment to make that happen. But that's kind of what a standalone machine learning app, it's more advanced, right? Then there are integrated machine learning apps, which are focused on predictive, right? CRM, coaching, e-commerce product recommendations, which sales prospects have a high propensity that they will buy right now or which will not. All that is machine learning, and those apps are almost accessible for most brands. And it's super advanced, and it's integrated into pretty much everything you do. You can have it in your email platform. You can have it on your website. It's an integrated machine learning apps, and they can communicate with each other too. That's a really good use of AI. And the last one I'm mentioning here is the programmatic, where you can do the integrated task automation apps, which are more like inbound customer call tracking and CRM linked marketing automation systems. Again, that's more on the sales side a little bit, less advanced, but still integrated across the board. So what I really want to focus on, what's going to move the needle for e-commerce brands right now, is according to what Harvard Business Review recommends, for e-commerce brands, not just Isaac Hyman, right? What Harvard Business Review recommends, integrated machine learning apps, AKA machine learning, AKA dynamic product recommendations, will be a major driver for your business. Okay, so we're going to dive into how do you use machine learning to grow your e-commerce business and what other AI tools are out there to help reinforce that. So another step I want to talk about now is, why is AI critical right now? So I just got this report from Forrester, and it was talking all about how, AI is the buzzword out there. 88% of marketers believe they must implement AI to keep competitive with the top brands. You got to be able to keep competitive. AI will help you get that advantage. 50% cite inadequate AI adoption. They aren't adopting it enough, right? Probably because they're jumping on all these latest things that people are talking about. ChatGPT for copywriting. That's just one tiny portion of it, right? And it may not move the needle as much as you think. 41% of brands saw an increase in revenue using AI tools. A great opportunity there. 10 to 30% of brands saw a revenue lift from having dynamic product recommendations in their emails. Okay, why? Again, I'm going to tell you why. It's because it's not about what you want to sell. It's about what the customer wants to buy, right? And recommendations show them, here's what you want to buy, and you want to buy it. And we're going to send an email based all around that. And then 49% of brands realize that if they don't use AI, they are incapable of scaling to the next level, right? That's 49% of brands. So there's just a lot of opportunity here, and brands are realizing that AI will save them time and make them more revenue to grow their business, help them scale to the next level. They just need to know what to use, right? So I'm going to dive into that portion from the email and SMS and retention side. So the question is, what is the best AI to use? As I said before, according to Harvard Business Review, the machine learning apps usually will play the biggest role. Machine learning, product recommendations, machine learning on your segmentation, all of that will play the biggest role for you. So that's really, really important to remember. Now, just to make it a little bit more tangible for brands out there, I want to start with I usually do this towards the end, but I'm going to start this one with an AI case study to show you exactly how our clients, how brands should be using AI and how to think about it, okay? In the past, and this is, I would say this is about 85% of brands out there, I'm just winging that number, but 85% of brands have these gorgeously designed emails. They are amazing, nicely designed, but they are terribly under-personalized. They have zero personalization. I've done emails in Figma, we've done emails in Canva, we've done emails designed in Photoshop, every single possible platform. The one gap that exists is the personalization, okay? Because the personalization there is key. If you have a one-size-fits-all creative, segmentation without personalization is literally pointless, because you just have a nice looking creative that goes out to everyone. And I can tell you in my inbox right now, I have some of the biggest brands out there, some of the brands you hear about, that have this gorgeously designed email, and it's just not personalized to me. That's where the gap is. So I'm going to share with you one email here. That's email number one, which was a 48-hour sale on a brand. They were doing 15% off, had a 36% open rate, about 29,000 opens, 1.4% click-through rate, which in their case was about 1,200 clicks, and it generated about 15,000 in revenue. Okay, not bad. You can go to sleep well knowing that. Email number two was more of a content-based email, 38% open rate, which again was like 30,000 opens, and then 0.6% click-through rate, 600 clicks, and then 8,000 in revenue. Okay, so a good-looking email, but the click rate was low, right? 0.6. It's not so great. You can get better than that. Open rate, pretty solid. Could always be higher though, right? That's the general emails most brands send out. These nicely, gorgeously designed emails, and they look great. And when you look at it, you're amazed and blown away. Do they drive revenue? Do they drive the clicks? Do they drive the personalization? Well, there probably is a better way. Here's what we reconfigured for them, right? Thank you, Evangeline. I appreciate the call out. More than happy to book a session with you for sure. I have my assistant on the line to help you with that. So one thing here, what we did with this brand is a little bit different, okay? You want to focus on what the customer wants to buy, not what you want to sell. That's a mindset shift. Customers will buy what they want, not always what you want to sell. In fact, if you go back to those beautifully designed emails you sent out in the past 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, most likely they didn't buy the product you were talking about. Okay, that proves the case right there. What we did is we utilized machine learning to personalize every email on a one-to-one level. Okay, every single product in there, every single item in there is dynamically presented to the end user. It's dynamically personalized to their experience. Okay, and what happens is that now I have a travel picks email. I have no discount, no sale, all profit, and it's dynamically populated to the end user. And what was the result? 2,200 clicks, which is 3.5 times the normal click rate. We had 32,000 in revenue, which is 2 times their normal email. And again, 0 margin reduction, which meant 100% more profits. Okay, all because we use the power of machine learning in our emails. We had a very generic top image at the top, very clickable, easy to click, and then dynamically populate items right underneath that. That is really what moves the needle, okay? Here's an example of this, right? Segmentation and AI personalization. We segmented it all out. We had a 40% open rate, slightly higher than the one before. It actually had about 70,000 opens from that email as opposed to the regular 29,000, okay? More opens, double the opens, 3.5 times the amount of clicks, and then double the revenue, all because of AI and using machine learning. That's really a fantastic number to have. So wanted to just share with you that case study about the potential of it so you know exactly where it can be. Our AI for email goals in this webinar include the following. We want to increase the click rate and get more raised hands back to your site. We want to increase conversion rate for you, get the customer back to a high converting destination. And we want to enhance personalization. At the end of the day, right, it's all about personalization. We want to personalize the emails to the end user and connect with them on a one-to-one level. We want to be customer-centric and put the customer at the center of our marketing. And finally, be scalable. That's the goal from this webinar. We want to be scalable so you know exactly that emails are going out and you're consistently making them personalized, dynamically populated from AI and machine learning. And you can literally throw in 100,000 new emails and it's scalable. You keep getting those emails in the door and you will scale further. So that's really what our focus is right now. I'm going to pause for a second because I think my computer is running a little low on juice. I'm going to just plug this in and hopefully you can still hear me on this webinar. 1 second here. Hey guys, can you still hear me? Set my settings up. 1 second here. I usually don't do this, but since I have this now, I want to make sure we're fully set. Okay, I think we're set. Do you still hear me? If you hear me, you can put a thumbs up in the chat or put it in the comments saying like, I'm so happy I can hear you, and we're going to keep moving on. This is what happens when you have I had a packed week this past week. It was so jammed with graduation and they have a wedding coming up and there's just a lot of activities going on in our life. That's the power of June. So if you still hear me, put a thumbs up in the chat or just say like, I can still hear you and we're good to go. So let's continue on. Let's get now into the nitty gritty of the secrets of the 1% AI for email workshop for e-commerce brands. What are the actual tactics and strategies here that we need to implement to maximize our capabilities, to maximize our time, to maximize the potential of our list, to maximize our emails? So I'm going to give you some that are literally approachable right now, and then some that maybe we put on our roadmap together and say, yeah, I want to implement that in Q3. I want to implement that in Q4. Implement that in 2024. We're almost at 2024. It's crazy. We want to put it on your roadmap because if you don't implement it right away, that's okay. You just want to start with baby steps, right? And the first step in implementing AI for your e-commerce store is about shifting your email mindset. Okay, you got to shift the mindset a little bit. Okay, there's 4 key areas where I highly recommend you shift. Number 1, you want to be customer centric above all. Your products are great. What you sell is amazing. Okay, but when it comes to email and SMS and retention, customers want to buy what they want to buy, not necessarily what you want to sell. And you may have this amazing email that's all about you and your products, but in reality is if you have an opportunity to share an email that is more relevant to the customer, then they have a higher propensity to buy that, that's better, right? So you want to be customer centric above all. That's the main mindset you want to have. Put the customer at the center of everything. You then want to work smart, not hard. All the AI you implement should be focused on helping you be more effective, more efficient, and more intentional in your marketing, right? If you don't need to send an email all the time. You only need to send you don't need to send more emails. You just need to send the best emails. So really what you want to focus on is having a really high performing email program without saying, let's get in the weeds on every single thing. We don't need to get in the weeds on copy. We don't need to get in the weeds on design. We don't need to get in the weeds on automations all the time. We want to focus on what's going to move the needle right now. So work smart, not hard. You also want to use AI to focus on the 80-20 rule. What are the 20% segment that's going to move 80% of our results? Okay, we're to use AI to kind of tap into that, find that 80-20. It also goes into play of saying, like, what is the best use of your time? Is the best use of your time geeking out over, ChatGPT? Probably not. In fact, they have ChatGPT prompts and how to write ChatGPT prompts. So, there's a lot of different ways you can use AI, but you want to focus on what is the best use of your time? What's going to move the needle the most for your brand? And then finally, the most important, I won't say the most important part of this, but one of the most important parts of any email is the knowledge that every relationship starts with a click. An email, if you open it and read it and look at it and stare at this amazing design and you say, this is a gorgeous looking creative, that is not as worth it if you don't get the click, right? Every relationship starts with a click. The minute they click on the email, it unlocks a ton of data for you as a brand that you can then action on, that you can then personalize on. So the next email is smarter than the first one, right? And on and on and on. So everything happens when you get the click. What's going to happen? What we want to do using AI is get more clicks and better clicks, higher quality ones, right? So those 4 pillars are all about shifting your email mindset. Be customer-centric above all. You have to be able to use AI to work smart, not hard. You want to make sure it's focusing on the 80-20 rule, right? And then focus on making sure you get the most clicks and conversions from your emails. That's the mindset shift. So just to revisit that a little bit, I want to talk a little bit about my strategy, because this will play a major role in how you roll out your emails. So our strategy at HiFlyer Digital, it comes down to 4 key elements, right? Segmentation, personalization, automation, multiplication, okay? Segmentation, personalization, automation, multiplication. Right person, right message, right time, repeat. Right person, right message, right time, repeat. Right person, right message, right time, repeat. You want to be able to send the right person the right message at the right time in their buying journey and repeat it and scale it over and over and over again. That's how you win at email, SMS, and retention, okay? You can be excellent at segmentation and finding the right person. And I'll tell you how to do that also here with AI. But if you don't personalize the message to every single segment, it falls flat, right? Personalization is hard. It is very hard. Imagine having to personalize every single email you send out right now manually. That's why AI comes in, machine learning comes in to help you do the job. But if you're not personalizing and you have these segments, it's broken. And then if you're stuck in the weeds on segmentation and personalization and not automating this, well, then you're just stuck doing manual work all day, right? So again, work smart, not hard. You got to have segmentation, personalization, and automation. And multiplication is how you scale it. What do I mean by multiplication? It's sending out the right automation to the right cohort and the right product and the right brand and every single element of it. How do you duplicate all your automations to, run overtime for you consistently for every single possible scenario? So set your strategy in place. You're going to see that this strategy is like this overarching kind of cloud over everything we're going to talk about today. So now you set your strategy. Now let's work from the top down. Let's start here. What we want to do is start with our campaign brief, start with our copy. How do we use AI to generate high quality copy and content for our brand? Then segmentation. How do we use AI to find the best segments for our email? Then personalization. How do we use AI to personalize the email at a one-to-one level? Then automation. How do we use AI to automate our campaigns effectively? And then finally, how do we use AI to automate this for multiple segments, cohorts, and goals that you have as a business? Okay, the capabilities are all there. Will you have all the tools at your disposal right after this webinar? I think you'll have the right ones. You'll have the right ones available, and you'll have, again, a roadmap of how to use the even better ones down the road. Okay, so let's jump right in. Let's start with one of my favorites here. You can save time by using AI to write things for you. We all know ChatGPT and Jasper, all of them are great tools for writing better copy that you may not have done before. Okay, so you can save time on this, and you can take one piece of content, one campaign idea, and use it to generate 7 campaign pieces. All you need is the concept. That's where some of the heavy lifting comes in. That's where some of the manual ideation comes in, right? I'm going to show you with you in a second how that looks. But let's take one here where we're talking about collagen face cream is your secret weapon to stave off signs of aging. And I want to talk about how this improves overall skin tone and texture, and it reduces the appearance of fine lines. And again, it helps me not show signs of aging. Okay, that's where you as a brand, that's where you as a marketer comes in and says, that's our overarching goal. That's our brief, right? And before AI, we had to wait for a copywriter ideas, right? We had to wait for them to write it, and you had to wait for them to think about it. Bottlenecks, and then sometimes in an effort to just get it done, the execution team, the people who sent the email, just winged it. Oh, wing it. Oh, just throw something in, whatever, right? And then most of the copy also was focused on you selling instead of being helpful or thinking about, hey, what was the outcome for this customer? And this became a last minute rush, right? That's before AI. After AI, you can ideate one campaign brief and concept and generate multiple campaign copies, reduce your bottlenecks, use wisdom of the crowd, wisdom from the entire world, the entire internet, the entire population out there who is thinking about products like this, and inform your copy even better, and then focus your real true energies, your 80-20 of your time on testing and strategy, okay? So here's what we did. You take the hero copy, you take that main campaign brief we wrote together that you could see the main one, and then out of that, after you generate it through Jasper or ChatGPT, I use Jasper in this example, I then can take out, cherry pick different pieces of the generated content and piece it together from my subject lines, from my preview text, from my value propositions in my copy. I have my main copy right there too, right? And I can also pull out multiple subject lines from this and use that as an A/B test. I can even piece these together for an SMS that goes out. As you can see right there, our new collagen face cream is officially your new secret weapon to stave off signs of aging without breaking the bank. See it in action, right? There's your SMS. So out of one hero copy, I can create multiple mini content pieces for me to generate email faster than just waiting for the copywriters to get to it, and then just waiting for the versions to come out, and really focus my energies on testing. That's the main key behind it. Now, you still need someone to write that hero copy, still write that main campaign brief. But now your time has shrunk way down and you're doing it a lot better. And I've tested this many times, and I found that AI generated copy that's based on a really good campaign brief is pretty much just as good, if not better. Okay, so I've seen that multiple times. I've used this and it just saves a lot of time. So now your copywriting time went from an hour or 2 hours down to 20 minutes. And you can use this time to focus on more strategy and more testing. So that's a good use of copywriting right there. I want to go even deeper now and talk about AI generated emotions, because you can also layer in emotions into your copywriting too, which is really important as well, right? You can go beyond basic copywriting and tap into the emotions. And you can see right here, I did this with Persado. This is way back in like 2015, right? Again, I've been using AI for years before it started becoming cool. So if you see in the top right corner, you see here that original copy that was for fall, select sweaters on sale. It says, items for fall weather are now in stock. Get what you need now before the weather cools, okay? Now that's great, not bad, pretty good. But what AI generated emotions do is it allows you to pull in the feeling of this. So each segment, let's take your VIP segment, your best customers, right? You maybe want to show them an area of achievement, have them, wow, you're a VIP, look what you unlocked first. And those who maybe are never buying from you at all, you may want to talk about, something else. You may want to talk about a discount percentage call out, right? You maybe want to talk about a different emotion such as urgency or FOMO because they're not doing anything. So using AI, you could generate different emotions, different emotional copy for every single type of person, okay? Before, it was basic copywriting and it was generated by one person and speaking to, it was like a one-to-many approach. After AI, you can layer in different emotions that allow you to connect with the person on a better level. So again, VIPs, you're more celebrating. For the people who aren't doing anything, you use maybe the emotion of scarcity or curiosity, right? So different emotions play a role. How can you do this if you don't have Persado? Well, go to ChatGPT, ask the same thing. Generate 9 different emotional subject line versions for the subject line. New arrivals for the summer just came in. Use the following emotions, okay? Then they put results in a markdown table, which is like an Excel sheet, I guess you'd say. And you can see here, the amount of AI generated subject lines I got from one piece of copy was fantastic, right? So instead of saying new arrivals for the summer just came in, for some of the better brands, for some of those who need more achievement emotion, it says celebrate your style, conquer summer with our new arrivals. For those who need more scarcity, it says limited stock alert, grab your summer must-haves today, right? So there's different emotions you can tap into, and the whole goal behind it is to test. You got to test out and see what's moving the needle better. Okay, so all that we use AI to generate copy and emotional copy for you to test. Okay, that's step number 1. As you're writing your subject line, your preview text, and thinking about what should I write, what should my writer's block. Okay, AI will help you get over that hurdle. Here's the next step you want to dive into right here. Okay, now that we talked about the copy and the campaign brief, now we're talking about segmentation. Okay, when you're talking about segmentation, the whole goal behind it is to reach the best customers, not the most customers. You will go through your email plan. You will blitz out your emails ridiculously high, right? You want to find the best customers for your email. And you also want to find incremental audiences that you may not have known were interested in this product. So the way you do that is you can combine RFM modeling and AI predictive modeling. So what does that mean? RFM essentially means recency, frequency, monetary value of the purchase in the past. You look at the data and say, well, if someone bought a $10,000 item and they bought in the last 30 days and they bought once, well, they're a high value customer to me, right? That's great. But that's historical data. You also need to pair it with recency data, such as who's engaging with my site right now, who's clicking and browsing on my emails right now, who's active on my site right now, who's got something in their cart right now. That's recency data. But predictive takes it to another level, which says, what do they have a propensity to buy next? What do I think they're going to do next? So you put all these together into that little ABC. Let's see that little ABC, little triangle there. Put them all together. That's what we call, that's what the industry calls an affinity group, where you combine past, present, and future data into a really good core tight segment. That's a super high-powered affinity group. Okay, you combine all these data points that you may never have known about. Predictive data does that. Okay, so you know your historical data, you know the recency data, and you add in predictive things such as who's got a likelihood to click an email, who's got a likelihood to open an email, who's got a chance to convert from an email. All of that, if you're on Klaviyo right now, you have that capabilities. Okay, if you're on another ESP, most likely you have those capabilities too, but that's the predictive element. Okay, so you can have that layered in. Before, you're only looking at historical data, right? Some recency data, who's clicking on emails, things like that. And you sent out a non-dynamic email, you just grouped it out, and I've audited hundreds of accounts where they've grouped all their segments into one blast. Okay, that was before AI. Now, after AI, you can look at past, present, and future data. You can send highly segmented emails. You can reduce your send volume from huge batch and blast approaches, 100,000 emails at a time, down to 10,000 super impactful customers. And then that leads to higher clicks, higher conversions. Okay, that's the magic behind affinity groups. You reach the best customers, not the most. I'm going to give a quick example of how that looks right now. I have a use case here where here's how we used affinity segmentation in our strategy, right? Many times there was this brand that was promoting a new 5K mountain bike. I'm not sure if this is the exact bike, but they're promoting a 5K mountain bike from, I'm going to call it ABC brand that just arrived, okay? Before AI, what do we do? What do most brands do? Hit the full list, send it out, hit everyone. Everyone's a fit, right? If they're on my list, they're a fit. Okay. You can even send to all mountain bike buyers, or maybe send to all 5,000 people who bought a $5,000 or more item in the past. Maybe people who are just clicking and opening on emails, an engaged segment. And most times it's like, well, I want everyone to see it, so let's send it out to everyone. After AI, you can work on the 80-20 rule, right? Send it to the best prospects. You can send it to people who have an affinity for this type of brand, for ABC brand, affinity for mountain bikes. You can find people who are browsing or viewing mountain bikes right now or in the last 30 days and haven't bought. You can then see who's predicted to buy within the next 10 days, next 30 days, who's predicted to actually click their email, who's predicted to pay full price for an item as opposed to on discount, right? You can send to the engaged segments as well. And here's another thing that not many brands think about. You can also suppress people who are predicted to unsubscribe. So using AI and the predictive segmentation that you have already at your fingertips, if you're on Klaviyo, which most brands are, you can see that data right there, build out the segments. It takes some time to build it out, and you can create a much more impactful affinity group for your segmentation, okay? That list will look like probably like 10% of your full list, and you'll be panicked and say, that's not enough. But you'll be surprised that probably they'll drive 80% of the total revenue, okay? Test it, find out for yourself, but that's how you build an AI-driven segmentation. And of course, you can always send out to the rest of the list after, but over time, you'll see that you only need to send new product announcements, new arrivals, sale, or whatever it may be to this small sub-segment and make majority of your revenue. That's how you use affinity modeling in your segmentation right there. Let's talk about the next application of AI, which is the most impactful one for your business right now, which is dynamic recommendations. Okay, this is the biggest boost to your brand right out of the gate. And again, most brands have this at their fingertips, especially if you're on Klaviyo, you have this at your fingertips right now. 75% of customers are more likely to buy from recommendations. That's the stats from Statista. Okay, why? Because it allows your brand to focus on what the customer wants, not what you want to sell. That's the key part. Dynamic always beats static. If you can share if you can share the products that the customer wants to buy, eliminate the guesswork, you'll make more money. Period. Right? Why aren't brands doing this more and more? Because they like seeing their long, nicely designed emails. They like seeing these amazing landing page type of emails that don't necessarily convert at the high level you think. And I've ordered them. I've ordered hundreds of them. Gorgeous looking emails. Gorgeous. No conversion. No sales. Before AI, here's why. Hand-picked products, guesswork, a one-size-fits-all approach, low click rate, low conversion rate, not personalized, right? After AI, you amp up your personalization really high. Dynamic products, there's multiple product algorithms to use. You can test ad nauseum, test away. One-to-one personalized emails. You reduce bottlenecks from all your merchandising and all thinking about what would move the needle this month. What should I promote, right? What should I send out? You don't need to think about it. Send something that people are looking at right now using the algorithm, right? Increase your testing and strategy and increase higher conversions. Why? Because every single one of those dynamic products are going back to the product detail page, the product page, okay? And if they're going back to the product detail page, well, that's great. That's really amazing because they're going to convert at a high level. And if they don't convert, because they went back to a product page, the browse abandon kicks in. If they add to cart, the cart abandon kicks in. All that happens, right? That's the key part behind it. So that's dynamic recommendations. I want to kind of quickly share with you an example of how this works. And I know Alo Yoga, how they do their marketing because they're on the same platform I used to use, Bluecore. Big fan of Bluecore. I love them for all they are actually on the cutting edge of dynamic recommendations. So I highly recommend if you can afford them, they'd be great. But I'm going to compare Alo Yoga with Beyond Yoga right here, where, again, I'm not entirely sure about their strategy. They probably have it figured out really well. But for most brands, they approach their marketing, their email marketing like Beyond Yoga, where they have this goal. They want to move this product, the green grass heather. But most of the time, I would say in every single brand I've ordered it, and I've seen it when I was the VP SRM, these big emails that are talking about one product right here are great. You need to sometimes send it, but they don't convert on the product, right? They just don't move the needle on that product. Customers will buy hundreds of other products out there. So what does Alo Yoga do? Alo Yoga knows this. So they keep a generic banner at the top. You just want to click. And underneath it is dynamically populated products that I have viewed, carted, have a propensity to buy, may start shopping right away, may be a great first-time purchase, maybe a great fifth-time purchase. All of that data-driven, machine learning-driven. Okay, that's why Alo Yoga is killing it in this industry. It's all dynamically populated to the end user. And me as a customer, when I get that email, I see green's not my color, but these items here are exactly what I'm looking for. And I love them because they're personalized to me. That's the difference. Major difference. Which one do you think converts a lot higher? Right? The dynamically populated product one will drive higher conversions and clicks. Okay, both of them will come through. Let's now dive into another segment of AI. Now that we talked about copywriting, we talked about segmentation, we talked about personalization. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about identifying customer life cycles. I just want to go ahead for a second to make sure I have this right. Yeah, now we want to identify customer life cycles, okay? This is an example of where we now can use that segmentation that we talked about before to identify customers who are we want to keep our customers loyal. And using AI, we can now predict how soon will they leave us, and also which customers do we have are going to be super high value customers. That's where AI is. AI informs your lifecycle automations and ensuring you hit your key 80-20 audiences at the perfect time. So the more data that you know about, right, the more data you have to predict, the better off you'll do. Most of the times brands are like, well, I have these customers that just bought once, and you know what, I really should win them back. I really should try and get them to buy again. And they wait 6 months, say, oh, now's a good time to try. AI can tell you right away, you should try targeting this person after 30 days, this person after 60 days, this person after 10 days, all dynamically populated by the data. That improves your retention rate, reduces your churn rate, and allows you to save a lot of time on guesswork, okay? And the cool part about it is that it gives you more data than you know about. Right now, we're thinking about like, oh, customers will leave after, they only buy again after 90 days or so, right? That's your general kind of baseline for some brands. But in reality is, that may not be true, right? Because the data includes engagement, site activity, channel activity, all these cool data points that you and I may never know about. And you can see the churn rate by e-commerce industry right here. If you're in the gifts and special events, your churn rate is pretty high, 82%. Imagine what an AI-powered identification of your customer's journey looks like and how you can use it for your brand really easily. While in beauty and fitness, the churn rate is a little less, but still up there, 62%. We can probably reduce that a little bit more. Before AI, no one focused on retention, right? They're like, I probably should win them back, and maybe. They also couldn't predict who was a high value customer right out of the gate, depending on what they bought, right? And you also couldn't predict anything else about whether or not they would unsubscribe or whether or not they would click or engage. So most of the time, we avoided mailing anyone at all. So that was something that was very interesting, right? That's before AI. After AI, we can now predict who has a risk of churning, who has a propensity to be a high lifetime value for our brand, all from 1 or 2 purchases or from their activities, who's predicted that we need to win them back, and when should we send them an email, send time optimization. So all of these are really cool applications of using AI. I'm going to give you a quick example of how to use it, right? Using AI, I can identify a customer who here's a great example. I can identify a customer who has a high propensity to buy again after they bought 2 times, right? And I could predict who has a high propensity to buy twice if they bought once. And then I can then create a dynamic email, personalized to them, use AI to send at the right time, right? When they will be the most engaged. And I can then send them an email similar to what Wayfair, Jockey, or Sephora does right here. You can say, this person looks like they're on the site now. This person looks like they are high propensity to buy at this window in time. Let's send them a general email with handpicked items just for them. And let's see how they convert. Most of the time, they will convert a lot better. And then they'll go from 1 to 2 in their stages. So that's a really great application of it. Again, before AI, you couldn't identify these customers. You couldn't identify high-risk customers. Another great example of this is you can use AI to segment risk of churn. Many times, when you think about customers that are not buying again, that's what they call churned. They churned. They're gone from your brand. But using AI, again, AI, machine learning, you can set up a segment that says who's predicted to churn in the next 30 days, and then hit them with an email before they churn. because it's much harder to win them back if they did churn than it was to prevent them from churning in the first place. And that only happens when you use AI to create these segmentations, right? These segments right here. And then you tie in an automation to run every person who has a high risk of churn, right? Once they go from 75% to 80% risk of churn, trigger the email. You can do this in Klaviyo right now, okay? You can see these segments I just built out are all built in Klaviyo. And if you're on a bigger ESP, Responses, or enterprise ESPs, you can certainly do it there. So that's how you can use AI to help inform your customer life cycles. I then now also want to go into how we use AI for more of like dynamic creatives and more of kinetic open time emails, which you may hear about, but you may not know where to start, right? Kinetic emails are pretty much emails that live in your inbox. They actually are alive in a way, if you will, right? They're fresh. And every time you open the email, there's something new, or it changes the banner, or it changes the block. Most brands know this as a countdown timer, right? They use kinetic emails as countdown timers, right? That's just one application of it. But there's a lot of cool applications that you can use with kinetic emails. And the benefit is that it increases clicks and conversions, right? I used to use this for a flash sale. So I sent out a flash sale one day, right? One day flash sale, 24 hours. And when that flash sale was over, the banner swapped out to saying, this deal is over, but we have some more better deals here. Click here. I swapped out the banner, swapped out the link, all on automation, all using AI. Okay. That's the cool part. And we had a countdown timer too. That's great, right? So all that is possible with kinetic open time emails. There's a couple tools I'm going to recommend, such as Kick Dynamic does a really cool job. Zambula, great job as well. Fresh Inbox has more of a CSS coding type of approach. And then there was also Rebel Mail that I think they rebranded. All those are great tools for implementing kinetic open time emails. The benefit of it is that, again, your email is in their inbox. You may as well get more use out of it after the first email, right? So here's a couple examples. You can have smart banners at the top. Let's say someone has something in their cart right now. So a smart banner pops up and it reads, if the person has an item in their cart, it shows the banner. If a person doesn't have an item in the cart, it removes the banner or it shows something else, right? You can also have things such as how many reviews are in a product, right? It'll show how many reviews real time. Kind of scrapes the website and shows that. You can also show weather or graphics if you have a store, right? What's the weather outside today in your location? And in your location, if you open in Miami, it's going to show, humid weather. If you open in North Dakota, it may show colder weather, right? So it has a really AI-generated weather pixel in there that will share with you real time, more personalization there. So before, you were using this one-size-fits-all approach design, and the experience ends after the first open, and there's limited personalization. After this, you have dynamic emails that are living beyond the first open, right? Fresh content every time they open the email. It improves clicks and conversions because there's still life to that email. After your Memorial Day sales ended, you still can do something with it. And there's some cool tools I mentioned there before. Here's an example of it. Best Buy uses this really well, where here's one email. I screenshot this before, like earlier in the month, Memorial Day. Here's my Memorial Day sale right here. A few days later, after the sale ended, I screenshot it again, and you see at the top banner, the sale has ended, but other great deals are here. When I clicked through the Memorial Day sale, I went to a page that had all their deals, not just Memorial Day deals, okay? That's how they're using kinetic, real-time, open-time creatives in their emails right away. You have those capabilities. Like I said before, Kick Dynamic, Zambula. There's another vendor I know that does it. I'm blanking on the name, but a lot of opportunities out there. If you can't implement this right away, that's okay. Focus on recommendations to start. But this is a cool application of AI within your emails. This is similar to this, right? This next slide is all about dynamic designs, which is a little similar. It requires a little bit more heavy lifting because using AI, you can show different dynamic designs to each user. So a great application of this is if you're in the apparel world, right? And you have products for men, products for women, products for kids, and using the data that they share with you, the purchases they made in the past, what they're viewing and browsing, you can change the banner out to say, here's gift picks for her, picks for him, picks for kids by just sending one email. AI dynamically swaps them out. That's a very cool application for how to use this. If you have CRM data, if you have data in your platform, like you collect the data and say, this person is shopping for him, this person is shopping for her, this person is shopping for kids, you can also do it too. It requires a little more manual work. You have to actually design the creatives and store them somewhere so they're always available for you. But that's a really cool way to make that a dynamic looking email using AI and using your CRM, using your ESP too. Before AI, what I was doing was a one size fits all design, right? And you just had this ongoing design bottleneck where similar to copywriting, you're waiting for them. What's the copy? Where's the design? What's going on? Now we have the opportunity to have more personalized creatives, more dynamic options, really fewer bottlenecks than before, and better personalization, which leads to clicks and conversions, higher clicks, higher conversions, more of what you want to see. That's how you can use AI to generate designs. Now, I haven't delved into specifically the actual creation of AI generated designs, like how to generate designs using AI, but this is the logic behind how to use AI to start positioning your designs into different people's inboxes. So that's really the key part. I also want to share with you one AI tool that we just started testing right now with another client, which is AI generated video. This is from Maverick. Really cool test. I'm going to see how that goes. Follow me if you want an update on that. Using Maverick, Google it now if you want. You can actually create one video, like a 30-second or 1-minute video, record it, and then using the data when they put up, let's say I placed an order. My name is Isaac Hyman. I placed an order, and I send this in my post-purchase thank you. This video will dynamically populate my first name, my last name maybe, my purchase, all in this one video that I created, from scratch. And it just populates it dynamically every single time. I just did one video, which was, thank you so much for your purchase. I appreciate you. You're amazing. Here's what you can expect next. And it populates the name, first name, purchase, anything else you might want to include. Most likely, I'll see how that goes. But that's the power of AI design that goes beyond design. This is video. So there's a lot of opportunities here, a lot of applications for you to look into that. This is AI generated video. I talked about this already. Let's recap and create an AI campaign from scratch, because that's exactly what you want to know. How do I do this? How do I put this into action right away here and now? So again, let's recap. You start with number one, generate your campaign idea, right? What is the campaign idea you have? You can talk about July 4th, your campaign idea, just to start. Use Jasper to rewrite the idea into multiple variations. Pull the key phrases from that content generation for your campaign elements, for your subject line, for your preview text, for your testing, for your SMS tests, and just kind of pull all those pieces out and use AI to prove the case. Next, after you have all the copywriting done for this, you then create an A/B testing plan. You test the AI generated emotions that you want to kind of pull out, right? You test the different subject lines that you got. You test the body copy that you want to implement. All these are new tests that you could be doing that you should be spending most of your time on, not focusing on writing copy and what's the best subject line and what's the best preview text. Let AI do that. You focus on the testing of it. What's going to move the needle? Which emotion is going to move the needle? Next, after you got your copy, you got your testing plan, use AI to create your 80-20 segments. Use machine learning to create your affinity groups, like those right down there, right? Who's an affinity for 18-karat gold necklaces? Who's an affinity for birthstones? Who's an affinity for this hair care product, this beauty product, this electronics, this bike? Use machine learning to create those affinity groups. Find incremental people who probably you may not have seen before that you didn't know would be interested in this product. That's what AI can pull in for you. Test it by creating separate touches for each segment. So if I have an affinity group 1 for this bike, send it out 1. Affinity group 2 for the bike, send out 2. Affinity group 3, send another touch to them. So all that allows you to segment out and keep with each segment, have a personalized experience, which is the next part. Then you want to put on AI generated recommendations, one-to-one generated, right? Place dynamic recommendations at the bottom of your email. Test different algorithms if you like. See which one does better. Is it better to show items that people are viewing now? Is it better to show bestsellers? Is it better to show new arrivals? Is it better to show items that they have a likelihood to purchase after their first purchase, test it. You don't know. You can see one right here for Admire My Skin, dynamically picked for Isaac. These are the ones that are picked specifically for me. I could use those products on my skin right now. And then there are items that are the best sellers of 2023. So dynamically populated for me as a person, and test it. See which one moves the needle. Of course, the clicks and conversion will be super high because they're picked for me. Then after you're done with that, right, we're going step by step. Then you place your kinetic blocks in there, right? Put in your countdown timer, put in your weather block, powered by Zenblue, powered by Kick Dynamic. Put in anything that's dynamic that would be relevant to that person. We just, now as you can see, we did the copy, right? We did the segmentation, we did the personalization. And then now we're going to do the automation part, which is now you launch at the recommended time. Use send time optimization, machine learning to hit at the right time, hit the inbox at the right time, AM, PM, what time during that day, what's the right time they have a high propensity to open the email. You could do all this in Klaviyo right now. Launch at the recommended time. And then finally, the last step, automation and multiplication, set up your, using AI, set up your predicted risk of churn segment, okay? Set up your high lifetime value predictive segment, and then set up an automation to run that if they bought this item now, after 30 days, after 60 days, after 90 days, they will then get this decision that says, is this person going to be churn? Okay, send them this next email. This person is not going to churn and has a high lifetime value, send them this email. And that's it. You've automated your manual work away, and it's super segmented, super personalized. That's how you can use AI to generate the revenue you want to generate in half the time, 1/10 of the time. So now you've just created an AI campaign. Again, use AI to generate your copy from your campaign brief, from your idea. You've generate different variations for your subject line, preview text. You've generated the best segment for your list using AI. You've personalized the email to that user using machine learning recommendations. You've placed kinetic blocks in your email that allows you to be a little more focused on their time and on where they are, where the location is. You've launched at the recommended time when they have a high propensity to open or buy. And then finally, you've automated your next step. You've automated the next action, right? Which is follow up with them in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever that window says, whatever machine learning tells you. That's how you get it done, right? That's our strategy. And that strategy works, okay? I'm going to share with you now, we went through some case studies, but I'm going to go through a little bit more just to explain exactly how it works and what the outcome is. It works for 10-figure brands to 7-figure brands. I've worked with them all. And here's another case study from a brand. This is a bicycle retailer. They went from 12% of revenue to 31% of revenue in 90 days, right? When we came in, they were generating $112,000 in revenue from email. In 3 months, they went all the way up to $354,000. So huge jump, 300%. They jumped from 12% to 31%. What changed? AI, machine learning powered recommendations, better segmentation, better copy, all that powered by AI. So you can see that's where the magic hits. It's all about the personalization, and using AI, you can personalize it a lot better. Another great example, as I mentioned on most calls, all this was driven by the power of machine learning, the power of prediction. This $2 billion retailer went from 6% of total revenue to 14% of total revenue from email. That may not sound like a big jump, but when you think about it, they went from 10 million from email to 30 million from email. That's 20 million gained, right? So that definitely covers everything they want to accomplish this year because they tapped into the potential of their list. And then, yeah, there was another one there, but let's skip over that. So to save time, just to recap, promises made, promises kept, right? As we promised, I wanted to make sure that you knew that you need to reimagine what AI means to your email marketing. So you've learned how to approach the AI onslaught, tons of apps, tons of vendors, tons of tools out there. Now you're going to focus on the ones that really will move the needle, right? You know why machine learning recommendations are the 80-20 of AI for e-commerce brands right now. Use machine learning powered recommendations. You have it at your disposal. It's in Klaviyo. It shouldn't be easy. It should be very easy. You have it in most email platforms these days. You also learned that customer centrism is critical to success. Focus on what they want to buy, not what you want to sell. Okay, that's the key part. And you've seen why AI is for email is critical right now, because if you're not doing it and implementing it right now, if you're not implementing that mindset and thinking about what I can use for machine learning, you're not going to keep up. You're going to get overrun. Everyone's talking about it now. Everyone's implementing it now. Implement it now before the holidays, that's for sure. Number 2, as promised made, unlock the best AI for your business, not the most. Focus on the AI that drives the most clicks and conversions. You can use Jasper and ChatGPT for versioning the email out, for versioning the copy out. You can use your algorithms to power your personalization a lot more. Use machine learning to find your 80-20 segments. And then again, after you're done with that, I left off a word there, explore additional apps and vendors, put it on your roadmap and say, you know what, I'm not ready for this now. I got to get my AI foundation started first. Then I'll explore the next app, like that Maverick, or I'll explore the next app, which is whatever the next one comes out. So now you focus on the best AI, not the most. And then finally, as I mentioned, the promise we want to keep to you was now you know how to build an AI campaign from scratch and double your revenue, right? How to use one campaign idea to generate 7 to 10 content pieces from your subject lines, preview text, SMS. You found the perfect segment for your send, right? There's affinity groups, right? Don't limit it to them only, but you found the perfect segment. You'll find out. Trust me, this is how it will work, how it will pan out for you. Those segments will do the best for your business. You personalized every email with machine learning recommendations. And finally, you've automated your process to send a follow-up, to trigger after, to predict their next step by thinking about what they're going to do in the future, not just what they did in the past, right? That's AI. AI can find that prediction. So that's how you can leverage AI and build that campaign from scratch. So hope this was helpful. Really, I really want to make sure we kept those promises there, because that's really what it comes down to. If you know what to take out of this webinar, these are the 3 core pillars that you should be doing. Next, as I always say, if you're really serious about it and you really have ingested all this information and you feel like this is great, but you don't know where to start, book a free strategy session, free audit. More than happy to take action with you, dive into your platform, dive into your current setup. I like to say that what we do is we look at what you're doing now, where there may be room for improvement, and how we get there together, right? And take to the next level, because that's what I'm about. We're here to partner with you for everyone's success. And certainly your e-commerce brand success. We have on that audit, we do that free audit, and we do a customer journey audit. We look at it from the customer's perspective, review your coding, design, and personalization. Most of the time, I'm probably on your list already. I sign up for a ton of emails. We have this ROI calculator where we can predict the potential of your current list. Really cool metrics that we use all the time. I'll give you campaign feedback. We'll review your retargeting and automations as well. All that is valued at about $1,000. And again, more than happy to give you my book, digital copy of my book. I wrote the book on it. I'm glad to send that over. All that is a 45-minute strategy session. Definitely book it. If you're serious about it, book it now. You see the link right there. As promised, as I mentioned, free book and masterclass is coming soon. We're going to get that masterclass done. It's taking a little bit of time, but we're going to get you a free book to start. Get what I call my Launchpad bundle, where I stack in my cheat sheet, e-commerce growth guide, my free 12-month email SMS CRM roadmap. I have my Q4 calendar as well as a 12-month calendar, campaign calendar, top 10 automations guide, free email SMS audit. And of course, that's all available at HiFlyerDigital.com/2023 Launchpad. It's a $5,000 value. Highly recommend you get it and download it. And again, take the next step. It's one thing to consume content, but really what you want to do is take action. That's the main goal. So we're at the end. So I really want to say thank you for staying here. I know we're a little over time. I want to make sure we covered everything we need to cover. I hope my audio was really great. My computer was dying a little bit, but you know what? We adapted and pivoted like we all did from the pandemic. So get your free email audit. Really start winning at email and SMS. At the end of the day, you have a true revenue potential on your list that you need to tap into. Take the time to tap into it. Take the time to tap into it now before the holidays hit. The top brands are planning for the holidays. I'm going to talk about that in the next webinar, but start planning now. Set your foundation, get things moving, know how to change your mindset to use AI correctly, and let experts from the top 1% help you to get to the next level. Book your audit, take the next step, but most importantly, implement the AI tactics we discussed on this webinar. Super excited to see you implement it. If you have any questions, feel free to message me or leave it in the chat. I hope this was helpful. I will definitely super excited to see you in the next webinar. Thanks for joining.